Good evening, fellow Spacicles. On this evening, we shall play another turn of Space Empires 5. Alright, let's get started. What did we blow up today? Kataran Planet in Eridani, okay, down there. Large freighter, there was mining ships down there, another planet. And we absolutely smashed the entire planet and fleet that the E had down there in Eridani. The well-defended fortress is no more. So look at it. Okay, here's the fleet. Oh, can't hover over it and have it tell me his ship types. All his, what was it, NCDs and stuff. My fleet being pancaked against the edge of the map as usual. David X is stacking to heaven. I have the fleet in, what was it, 2 formations, 2 task groups. Both, I believe, the Flying V formation. Here's all the drones. There's some drones in a free drone group, the fast one, and there's the slow drones in a different drone group, which take one of the drone leaders as the anchor points, so they actually stay in these formations in these nice little stacks. All the fast drones here are probably going to die. They're going to do circles around the planet. They're not going to be able to damage the planet. Oh god, this planet has 43,000 shields. There's way too much PD on it for these missiles to actually do anything, and apparently they're dumb and get into range and just get lasered by the planet. Alright. Goodbye, fast drone group. Nobody liked you anyway. Okay, but here the Davidex war comes. Oh shit, that planet died in less than 10 seconds. Well done. Hardly even took any losses. There's one ship disabled here, one damaged there. Another one has a little bit of damage here. Well, were there wave motion guns on the planet? I must have lost at least one ship to those, right? Like it did in Sidonia. And now there's nothing left to do but clean up their support group. Alright. Did we get those 2? Yes, we did, right? Game ended. 0 stuff of everything for the E. There you go. It's not usual that a combat this large ends up with the complete destruction of the other side. So the details view. Everything E destroyed. Us losing a bunch of the newer Piuses. Yeah, bad. Repair drone lived, although it's damaged, so it's gonna repair itself, I guess. The ship's damaged. The derelict's damaged at 60 and 90%. It's something. One of the King Falcons got destroyed, another one got disarmed. That's it. We paid 1 battleship out of 58 to destroy his entire fleet. Of course, with our economy, we've built so many battleships that if we outmass him just so bad, it's really a contest anymore, of course. 62,000 kilotons in battleships. That's a lot. Another 16k almost in large drones. Well, we need to use them in a better fashion. We need to build a large, not large, a faster 15 speed, 16 speed even? I think 15 speed ship for them to follow like the 11 speed ones follow the Kitty Hawk. Maybe then they wouldn't behave that dumbly. Maybe they still would, because they just rush into combat first. Alright. Yeah, well, that's happened. Another Kentaur and freighter. And some E scouts poked out. Alright. Anything else happened with our allies combat-wise last turn that we missed? Okay, our ally killed another Gulag planet up there in the north. The E killed a Slurpy planet in Sidonia. And a small drone group. That's it. Concept we already looked at. Miscellaneous. Yeah, the first atmosphere got converted. Up there in the Delphon system, that was the first atmosphere converter we built. It converted even before we actually upgraded the atmosphere converters. That is very nice. I'm going to finish building up that planet and then just trade it to my ally, because he owns all the other planets in that system. Ikea 20 mines in the around the fortress that we attacked just now. Just 20. That's very little. It discourages scouts or anything from running and getting scans of the ships. Cover pollution events. Do you guys have your police troops? You do? Oh, you do, I can already see with the icon here. This plan is going to be very unpleasant. The zone slaves are still happy, but they do not have slave drivers queued. So he could police to keep them in line. So let's do that, okay. Alright, let's queue up stuff on this planet. We didn't really build anything here, just a storage compound. I guess the Atmo plant, the upgrade you're not going to need anymore. Jubilant, the Romulans here. So let's recycle the Atmo plant. That already cleared the queue. Upgrade, very nice. Then what do we build? Research. What does my ally have in here? Mining stuff. Atmo plant over there. Research facilities. Well, here there was also the interdimensional pocket dimension facility. Adds 2 kilotons of additional facility space. 1 kiloton already takes itself, so it essentially adds an extra slot for a planet in level 1. In level 6 it adds, I believe, 7k facility space for 6 extra facilities. Thane, Zone World, Research Computer, Central Computer Complexes. He's smart about upgrading these things, not that I was doubting that. This one barely worth building that central computer with just 5. Intel centers, more research, 2 more research. Yard planet, and it has the research director too. 2 value improvement plans here as well. He also likes to spread these on his farm planets and value improvement plan over there. And farm, yeah, let's just make this a nice research plan for him. You will now become a research compound. Right now we have less than our maximum stored in minerals anyway. And it looks like both we and our ally actually, are going to run out of, going to run down our stores even more, so I'm just going to delete that storage facility, which drops our capacities to 68k. We won't even lose anything to overflow. Then let's just queue up 11 of those, 1 of those. Aerospace, you already have your integrated protection pattern. And then the slave drivers. Alright, once that is done, in who knows how long, we can transfer the planet over. We don't have a spaceport in here. I do want to build it first because I can build these extra 2 facilities that my ally can't. Better than the extra 1 facility from his level 1 pocket dimensions right now. Alright, before I go through the other stuff, let's take care of the new colony. 128% rats, it's below our cutoff, is it? Oh, great colony list. Tell me what my cutoff is. Once you load, that is. There you go. Family value prod view. Sort by rats value. No, 128 word would fit just barely at the cutoff order in our scheme here. Lowest producing worlds we have 120 and 121. Alright, you will be a rats facility. And we do have quite a bit of rats surplus as it is. The more late game techs we build, the more we should take though. Oh, well, I was going to designate your rats facility, but we are actually a non-world, so I'm really not going to be able to do much here but build an Admiral plant. Let's just chuck on a value improvement plant for this 30 turns. 44 turns, including the build time of this thing. Let's do it this way. Build your Atmo plant with e-build. And you can build the value improvement plant while you're in slow build. This is the Urban Pacification Center. 1% happiness in the system. Or 1% is not enough, of course. Don't diss the happiness too much. It's essentially a 10% production bonus if you go above a threshold. Turning all these fuckers from happy to jubilant means they produce 20%. That's more instead of just 10% more. Alright. This is for the MISC one. Intel one. What the fuck is this? Intel system. What the fuck am I supposed to do with that? I have 10 million people, or 10 billion people even, 60 people. I can see all that in the stats anyway. And I can get good enough estimates from the Intel screen here, from just the regular as Empire report. I guess the possible report variance is quite a bit different. If there's 63 planets and it's estimated at 34 here. Yeah, it's quite a bit of variance. It's running towards the edge of that 48% variance. But still, these values, I believe, change every turn, so if you look at it for enough turns, you can get a very good estimate of how many planets somebody has. Not to mention, I can just count them in this case, because I've gotten vision from all of them. At least know what planets they have in the system. Okay, I can assume that these are colonized and count them there as well. Yeah, use this fucking intel. I wonder just how much more I would have gotten if I hadn't built those intel centers, but instead I would have 10,000 more research points. Oh yeah, and I'm really scratching those 70k research though. Very nice. Okay, nothing else in this tab. Research front, level 12 and shields. And since I didn't fix my economy by losing enough ships to put the balance back on track, I'm just going to have to go and take a couple levels of the cultural achievements for maintenance reduction. Construction, this is maintenance reduction. And let's also get a level of economics. 18%. And that should help as a stopgap measure to improve our economy for the moment. But the real improvement is going to be taking a few levels of mines. They're still at these level 4, 4, 5 things, the 4, 4, 5 levels, which is not that high. There's still quite a lot of potential for increasing our income just by maximizing these tax. Oh, I can take massive planet shields. Didn't realize I had that ruin. Alright, but for now, let's get a couple more levels of mines. I do want to, at this point, where I have 70,000 research points, I do want to consider just building monoliths. What tech was it actually that you needed for monoliths? Was it, no, it's not plant engineering, that's maxed. Was it chemistry and resource manipulation? What's in there? Torpedoes and training facilities? It's not really important. Okay, I'm going to take a look-see at the tech sheet. Tech sheet of the balance mod. What do I need? What do I need in order to get monolith? That is already. It is resource manipulation. It's 50 levels. Each level is 5 KRP. And you get monoliths from 5 to 15. And I'm going to bet with you that level 1 monoliths are not going to be worth it. Let's look up what level 1 monolith would give us compared to our regular mines and stuff. Okay. Facilities. Monolith. Alright, amount 1. 250 plus 25 per level. Alright, 750 resources in total. Typically, you only really care about minerals, stones, secondarily radioactives, and organics you have more than enough of anyway. Well, these 150% organics worlds. As a regular miner is what, 500? By default, then more from being leveled up. 650. Yeah, okay, so a regular miner is 650. A monolith facility would do 750 resources at level 1. And only very few of those actual minerals are third, to be exact. So, yeah. How high would I need to get this for me to consider this worth it? At level 11, it's going to be another 10 times 250 here, so 500. 1500 minerals total and 500 minerals compared to 650 minerals, which is also going to go to what, 1000 at level 10, at level 11 rather. But with how expensive this tech field is, there ought to be a better way to calculate this, right? I'm not a mathematician. 5k, just do 5 plus 10 plus 15 is 20, 25. It's the cost for the first 5 levels already before we even unlock monoliths. That is an entire turn of research. Then it's plus 30, plus 35, plus 40, plus 45, plus 50 to get to level 10. And after that, it's about a turn, or up to a turn each. To maximize monoliths. Monoliths are cool, but I don't think they're worth the turns of research that we need right now. Was it 7-8 rounds? Probably. The other things we will get through this tech field are not that important as well. Ultra recyclers make you get more money when you scrap chips or any other things in a system. So like 50% resource value, or however much you get back. You get 90% back at the maximum, I believe. We're not really in the business of scrapping entire fleets, so pretty much whatever. The resource converter can be quite good. It would allow me to turn all those organics that I can very efficiently produce on my 150% organics planets into minerals. It would require me to build a couple of more storage facilities so that I can store large amounts and store them at once, and then have space for the stored minerals. So there's the hidden inefficiency in needing to sacrifice some facility space for storage facilities. If I want to maximize or just regularly increase my organics income, don't not only use the 148% and plus organics planets, but also 140%. And would get, I don't know, 100,000 extra organics each turn and would turn those into 80,000 minerals. I will need extra storage for 100,000 organics and 80,000 minerals. Sure, I can max storage facilities. I can max the storage facilities, but I think they will only go to what? 20k per facility store. A question for this one. Storage. Mineral storage warehouse. Yeah, max at 11, 1k per, that's 20k per facility. So it's not only the resource converter that you would need to build, it's also some 20 facilities, so essentially an entire large planet's worth. What is the conversion rate? 55 plus plus 5 per level. So it starts at 60%, since this is not -1. Level 1 is, wait, what? Oh, it's amount of loss. Okay. So 50% loss is lost. So if I produce another 100k minerals, if I produce another 100k organics, I will turn this into 50k minerals at level 1, and then level 5, I'm going to turn it into 75k minerals. Yeah. The question is can I produce those organics more than 25% more efficiently than I can the minerals, if I also include the overhead needed from the converter facility and all the storage facilities that I need to actually run this. Right. I'm producing these here. 149% base efficiency, whereas I'm producing minerals, and something that goes down to 120. I don't think it makes sense to only compare the lower bounds of my efficiency, right? If I were to compare it, some 120% efficiency in mineral mining compared to 150% in organics, yes. But if I want to improve my organics production, I would take all these planets here and just turn them into farms. At which point I would be producing, say, at 143%. So if you have 25% loss, 143, but with 25% loss comes out to producing at 107% mineral rate. And on top of that, you need to consider the losses from the efficiency losses or the facility space losses, the productivity losses, from needing to spend facilities on this. So you can pretty much just round this down to say 100. If I start mining less than 100% mineral worlds for minerals because I'm short on minerals, then I should probably consider this with max level converters, notably. Could anybody follow my train of thought there? I could, and that's all what matters for this game, I'm afraid. Alright, so let's get on with it. We are not going to tech monoliths, as cool as they are. There's better things for us to tech. For the moment, we are going to increase our mineral income just by teching mines. We wanna get more shields. Frankly, I don't really care about making the ships a little bit better. Getting a couple levels of mines is going to unlock us the mineral scanners starting at level 6, like I would do the Reds colliders here at level 6 Reds. So at level 6 where they start. What do I need for just one level? 29%. Let's finish this level of shields. Okay, and then we can dump the rest into minerals. There's some other cultural checks we want to get. Civics is population loyalty. We haven't really done that much. Let's get a bit. Because why not? Fire usage, you don't really need more than every one of those. There's a trade improvement, which is hardly worth it. Environment, yeah, that's makes plant conditions better. That is, in fact, worth it. Because it improves happiness, which in turn improves production. It's intel defense and it's intel generation. Recreation is also happiness, which is also just a straight up production bonus. Get a level of it. Oh, 1% left. We chuck it just into civics as well. Yeah. Civics is just a 1k cost. Cultural tax. Cheap to get. Okay, that's it for now. The real tech that I'm getting is minerals extraction. I'm probably going to get more economics and logistics for a couple turns. Yeah, but we need to make a plan about what to do with all our tech that we have now. We should snipe for some expensive tech. I don't think it matters much to improve our ship technology. We are winning on the battlefield. We need to win harder in more and different ways. The best way now to do this is getting the stellar manipulation tree opened and getting warp point openers, getting planet crackers, getting system destroyers. At that point, you can pretty much say that we're just winning harder, though. Yeah. Even suppose our enemy, the E, and the Gulag, was played by the guy who now plays the E, do manage to stand up to us on the battlefield, and battles like just what we just saw is what they managed to counter in, say, 10 turns. Then if we can just open up a warp point to every one of their systems, put through a couple battleships with napalm, and just kill all the planets, then I believe we have this game finished. That would be the coup de grace. So let us take a look how much RP would actually need to take to get warp point openers. Alright, go back to you. Warp point. Am I blind? Oh, there it is. Right, the highlighting on this isn't really very visible. Okay, here, Astrophysics 5, 5 in Tech Field TS1, which is Astrophysics, unlocks Stellar Manipulation, which has 6 levels that each cost 100,000 research points. I would need to be at level 3 of that in order to get Warp Point Manipulation, which is 100k plus 200k plus 300k, wherever my 70k research is 8 turns of research to get the Warp Point Manipulation. Stellar Manipulation is expensive as fuck. And then I would need to get at least, what, level 2 for the Warp Point Openers. And level 1 is the Warp Point Closer, and then level 2 to 6 is the Openers. Okay, I probably want at least a level 2 or 3 opener to get enough range with them, since they're range limited. I don't really have a good feeling for how high a level would have how much range. But if I can reach these systems from, I don't know, these here or Sidonia, that would be good. So that's about 10, 12 levels to get that. And we should take these 10 or 12 levels to build a small battleship force that can then use these warp points to go into each of his backline systems and just raise the likely undefended planets. Actually, it's going to be more than 12 turns, since building one of these warp point openers takes a while too. Okay, let's look here. Warp point opener closes. So the opener is here then, yes. Away. Costs 12k minerals, and the best yards build at like 1k minerals now, and you still need to build a ship around the component. So you can assume that even with E build, This is going to take some 10, 12 turns to build at least a ship that has these. Space taking is only 100, so you can probably just chuck these on destroyers or something. Point open distance, 5 per level. So that's at 5, and then 10, and then 15. Yeah, I mean, 15 is a lot more than just 10. Can you get distances shown here? Yes, I can have distances shown here. Take this Orion system. These are up to 20 light years away. Sardonia, also about 20. So I think we're going to need to get warpoint openers level 4. These systems down here both have all these, even the backyard systems, in 20 light years range. What I can then also do is improve the topology of my own space. Just make new warp points from here to there, from there to there, and then I can have backyard, a backline reinforcements come back into back onto the front line much easier than other than having battleships that get built up here. Near my home world take 10 turns to reach the front lines down here, and even longer as long as the front line keeps wandering away from us. I don't really have a good idea of what a ideal topology would look like. I usually would center it on like an important yard location, and then just build a star. Just put all the warp points in one system, in one sector, and then heavily defend that, and then just connect every system to that one point. Makes things pretty efficient to just build things in a distributed fashion in. We don't really rely on as much anymore since we have all these yard stations distributed over space now. But it's also a massive liability, you know. If that one location falls where you concentrate all the warp points, be that one system or even one sector in one system, then your entire empire is toast. If it is like this, and your enemy does not have warp point openers, they would need to run into this system, and then this system, then this system, and just knock them over one by one, and the entire core of my empire is still very much safe. On the other hand, if the enemy also has warp point openers, having everything connected to a central system means that you can also act everywhere right away. Right now, if he had a freak warp point open a warp point from Sardonia to Majora, I would not be in a position to send anything here because I don't have any yards around. I would need to build something new in Tenchebrai and Pelagia and Viridian and Canopus, and just spend at least spend turns building it first, and then spend 5 turns or more to just send it there. By that time, the Majorum system and the Vega system and the Anodyne system are already toast. If I had a warp point from my main fleet base, which always has a big fleet standing on it, that would not be a thing. And since I'm in the upper position here in this game, I think I should use that kind of star topology for our systems. Alright. Theorized enough. I was at 1% of research. Alright, I was going to dump it into civics. For now, we're going to do this after we've done shields. We'll switch our tech to that and just do whatever economics we need to do in order to stay afloat. And we're not really all that tight. Okay, this fleet here, I've given a seek order. They've moved together with that fleet there, right? This fleet here, that fleet there. What are these 260 some units? At the start, there was not 260 some units. At the start, there was only 16 ships, 24 ships. Do you launch mines or something? Look at this. This place is in vision. Okay, but he has his scout drones here that entered the vision range of this warp point and are now able to see extra mines, I guess. Yeah, 184 mines, okay. I think that's within my sweeping capability. Let's count. Where is the Gorget in this fleet? I don't have a minesweeper of my own. Napoleon? Oh no, Napoleon is the large minesweeper. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 24. Each more sweep 6. It's 144. The Dustbuster has also level 1 minesweepers. Has 9 plus 7 is 16 times 6. Let's just take the calculator. Plus 16 times 6. 240 mines sweeping capacity. Okay, so yes, we can just run into that, no problem. I'm not going to chase that engagement. Here's what, 60 drones and 40 ships here now, including a lot of these newer cruisers. Nerg, this must be more newly built here, more of these cruisers. And even one of his battleships. Would be nice if I could combine with the solar panel fleets in the system. Here's a bunch of these battleships here. Yeah, what's that? 5 battleships, cruiser, and what looks like a minesweeper with the name. Yeah, if I could just add these to my fleet, that would be very nice. Should I ask him to hand me control over his battleships so I can combine them with me? He would need to gift them to me, so he would need to make a gift. He has already put his turn in for this turn, so next turn he would give me a gift. Everybody's just waiting for me to play this turn and then I will process. The next turn he will send me a gift. The turn after that, 2 turns from now, I will receive that gift, accept it. 3 turns from now I will have these battleships. Then I will be able to put these in my fleet in that turn in order to attack. And 4 turns from now I would be able to attack them with these extra 5 battleships. That takes forever, unfortunately, to transfer these things between allies. So, can I do this fight as we are right now? I almost want to say I'm just going to YOLO into it, regardless of the outcome. I should have enough reinforcements here. Oh, another couple of battleships here. So whatever I'm doing here isn't immediately going to fail. Collecting a few battleships over there. Okay. Keep an eye on this war point. Minor. Yeah, there's enough coming. Whatever, just go. Just go. So here, collection of mines, drones, satellites. It's trying to bait me with something. Me or my ally here. Come on, run your fighter group into this place. There's a couple drones here. Just 5 drones and 1 satellite. 6 drones. And then Daito mines. Sounds like a bait up. Okay. Research will take care of. Don't need to do that. Good, fleet. You will attack move there. I don't want to follow them through the warp point. Trigger combat twice, just because you can. Yeah, let's see what happens. You're going to go over this planet, so I think There was a supply facility here, yes. So you should be able to take on extra supplies. That might mean we're going to just draw this planet empty of supplies. I can't have it load cargo here because of mine. Specifically tell it to load supplies. Which might mean we might draw this planet empty on supplies and then just lose them all in the battle. Alright, but I'm tired of sending these, so let's not. Okay, what do we got here? This is a warp point 3. This is where warp point 3 stuff collects itself, and I think it can do that for another turn or two. What's with you? You still have people aboard? You still have people aboard because you haven't dropped them. Okay, okay. Strike was the regular combat ship. We can go there. If there was a Rian that had a cloaking device, I would take it somewhere else. Try to have it not fall to bait traps like that. Take down some of these Kentauran drones, Kentauran mining ships with that. There's the drones here. Looks like these are not getting supplied anymore because the planet is out, fresh out. Each of these resupply depots only generates so much supplies per turn. And 12k is usually not even enough to fill up a single battleship anymore at this stage, so building more resupply depot in your frontline bases is definitely something that you might want to consider in the late game. If you build them earlier throughout the game, then it's fine because they usually create themselves a huge stack of some 200k or up to 375k on this planet. And then you can supply entire fleets with that, but only once. Alright, so I'm going to take the supplied groups, move them over there to waypoint 3 as well, and the other ones are going to stay and suffer. You're going to wait for more supplies to be produced. And ordnance. I think ordnance was still on the planet. Yeah. Okay, that's everything out of Konaxa. Did we already queue a single colony ship for that place? I think we did. I think this one was the first. Temperature I7. Where are you supposed to colonize that one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Go do your duty. Do not load any pop. Oh, wait. There were Kantarans on here. They were not oxygen breathers. They were CO2 breathers. Yeah, okay. Go do your duty. What's the planet doing? Building the last space dog. The first one is still busy for 2 turns. This one is free. This one is free. This one is free. This one is free. Since you are free, top 24, grade yourself. You are only really going to be free next turn, so let's wait for that to happen as well. Okay, establish a rock. I have something for these. I think these two are being colonized by ships that I'm building here, right? Or did I just queue up colonizers for colonizing Draconis? I think I did. He's laying mines on my help location here. I know he was building these. He's gotten his star refit now. Okay. Did you need to lay these so that he could refit the ship? Probably. Sabja is 9. Why are 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I didn't build it to call anything in this system, didn't I? The moon in here, I forgot? No. What's for this one, was it? This is hydrogen. You have oxygen people here. Okay. And then I have an essential rock 11. Must have been for that one. Oh well, you're just going to colonize that one then, I guess. And your two last colonizers for in this system are going to go there. And you already built the first rock colonizer for this place. You already queue up an ice and another ice. I think that's what I mused about last turn. That's another ice. Another ice 9 is for that one. For that one. Queue up another ice. Let's just queue up another ice. Wait, were you refit already? No, you weren't. Okay, then let's not. You're going to run empty this turn. Oh, this one was still free. Okay, let's queue 2 ice. Maybe I'll have some 1 or 2 colonizers left over after all this confusion again, but I will live with it. That would be the point where we use the Ultra Recycler. Do what? Fly this thing for 6 turns to an Ultra Recycler, pay maintenance all the while, and then make back only part of what you paid in maintenance. It sounds like a bad deal. Alright. The Eisenhower home system can stay where they are for now. Drones, we build some drones. You go to waypoint 2, or do I want you to waypoint 3? I will go to waypoint 3. Upstairs. You are finally repaired. You need to move in there. Unmark that minefield. In case you're too scared, and then you can finish refitting that one. Licinius, you're the one that dropped mines down here. Mines are being produced in places like these, so go here. They are still building mines here, but I still have some here. Now they're upgrading all that stuff. Receive migration yet? No. Of course, building your Atma plant as well, and the value improvement plant. I think they can stay because we don't really need to max our rats income. Okay, let's see here. Establish rock 13. You are for this here system. These were rock. Hydrogen people on the planet. It's not a volume ship, unfortunately, but you can go, and I will leave the load populations order queued for once. Licinius with a couple mines on it. Did I fly this here with a couple mines on it? Or did I collect these somewhere? I'm not sure. Where did you get your mines from, boy? I'm building them here. Side system like this sounds like it would be a perfect place to build some mines. Let's queue up some. There, go build mines. And what do we do with this thing now? With a couple mines on it. So there's minefield over here. I could just drop them there as well, or I could collect it. But in the effort of sectioning off our empire a little bit, I will leave them there. This is a pretty nice choke point. Between Pelagi and Tarquin, I could have 2 war points defending my entire core empire from whatever comes through here. So it begs the question of what to do with the chip. I would use the space docks here to build more mines. Oh, I did build more space docks here. They're all out of job and they're all upgraded. You know what? Let's have these all built mines. Because we can. How many mines can you build in a couple turns? Say 100 mines. How long for 100 mines? 4 turns. That is 3.2k. That's 3.2k construction capacity. Okay. That sounds good. Let's build 700 mines here, or 600. Then we can actually go and lay some of these 1,000 minefields that we have been dreaming about. The plan itself can do its remaining stuff, and you will remain here. On turn 2, you have enough to go and lay. Alright, thinking about what else to do with these space yards. The obvious thing would just be building regular warships for the front here, whatever. I think we have enough. And it's not like we're stopping production. And I was musing about creating some task groups to go through opened warp points to raise his systems. I should probably build these in some of the more backyard yard locations like this one, or this system with all its planetary yards. Okay, what do we have here? These also look upgraded, all 6 of them. Used to building more guys, which are also okay for bombarding planets because they have so much range. So I would put these into one of such fleets. Rex in here, okay. On pop. Then go down here. No, you need to go to 4.2. Places like this tend to have all their constructions not necessarily finished at the same time. I'm going to finish now. It's the building facilities. Okay, well there's actually most of the warships in here. We're finishing in 4 turns. So in 4 turns I can start a construction project here. Whenever we queue up on these places that are free now, let's only queue something that does not take long, like extra scout ships. Or things like shrikes and reans to take care of mining ships and stations and bases. I'm going to want a few support ships as well, but honestly I don't think I'm going to want to bother with too much of them. If anything, I'm going to make an extra ship for ordnance, since these are just to go there and then they're going to finish their purpose and then they have no purpose anymore. They can die then. Let's make this Rian. I think I have one with a tachyon sensor that can see mines. We have a nice scout ship with a tachyon sensor that can see mines. Of course, we still have our eagles, but they are not armed. Let's take our Rian and give it sensors. Like real sensors. I think you can do without the solar collector. And I think you will make do with just one PT beam. Tachyon sensors, please. Put the gun in the front, because it fits there. And you can have the cloak and the cloak detector on each side. And these 2 shields. I think that's fine. This point is not a ship attack as it's more like a scout. The scouts, explorers, and recons. And whatever distinction there is between these 3 is yours to decide. These are really categories for the AI. Explorer, yeah. I would assume that's something early game just to explore the map. Lots of supply storage and generation, not necessarily anything armed. Recon and scout might be more sensor heavy. Maybe some armament, like this one. Let's call this a recon ship. A scout ship would be unarmed. That's what I say now. Optimal range break, yeah. Try to shoot shit if you encounter any. Direct upgrades, let's obsolete that as an attack ship S. Because you now fall in the scout category, no, the recon category. I previously had the Eagle, which I would now class as a scout because it doesn't have any weapons. I think my previous Eagle designs did have a gun on it, did they? Before I had the idea to put these expensive cloaks and sensors onto the ship. Oh, you know what would also be very useful? A scanner. A scanner would be very useful, but let's try to squeeze in a scanner. We can do that by getting rid of the scattering armor. Scattering armor prevents him from seeing what my ships have, but I'm not sure. Does our enemy even employ scanners? Let's show me some E designs. These big bad battleships don't, but I wouldn't expect there. It's defense drones. There's regular scout drones. They only have tachyons, no scanners. So my fighters. There's cruisers. Oh, that repulsor beams, interesting. Why repulsor beams? Repulsor beams with 90 range. Just to break up enemy formations, I guess. Okay, yeah, I do not see any scanners in his lineup. Let's make do without the scattering armor then. Alright, just stood symmetrical. Long range scanners. These designs can coexist. Okay, let's queue up 2 or 3 of these. Scout. Wait, recon. There's recon. You build one of those. You build one of those. You build one of those. You don't have a yard. Building ships. You're still busy with yourself. You're also busy with yourself. Building ship. Okay. We got 2 or 3 of them. That's fine. We could prepare another such wave over here in Canterbury. We're going to want enough destruction capability. These yards are busy. Most of them for 5 turns. Planet is actually out of orders. We have built now. Research. In the components factory. We start with some sort of big construction ship. Some sort of big ship that takes a long time to construct. I mean, these are the ones I would be sending through. Let's design you a ordnance ship, because these require a lot of ordnance. Let's take the Sponsianos, the small freighter, as a base. Our ships, our dreadnoughts, move at 11 speed. Also, battleships that move at 12 speed. I don't think I need to have the support ships move any faster, so let's make it a large one that moves at 11 speed as well then. Let's take the Thrax. Make a copy of the Thrax. That is more heavy on ordnance. Alright, the supply pods. I don't think we can open these in a fleet. And more for... I mean, I put them in there just because it wasn't going to make much of a difference if I put them in there or not. Let's replace all these with ordnance storage. $14K ordnance, yeah, whatever. We'll be fine. Let's take something from our design name list. A little bit further to the side again. But I want a Thrax to have something similar. Something like Titus or Trajan just sounds too much like Roman Empire. Just call it Thorax. Something similar to the other one. Design type. Do we have a transport ordnance? Nope, just supply. Whatever. We'll go in the same category then. I'm thinking I sent one of my support ships, supply ships back here. If they were to run out of supply. Oh, that's a new one. Yeah, if they run out of supply, I could pop that component. There it is. Use component. Supply pod. It says use component. Must have the data of what component attached to it somehow. Pop yourself those 2K supplies, and then wherever you reload, you can go and repair. It's 2K less consumption for this world. This has, well, only 36K supplies. Not enough to really resupply entire fleets. Not enough to fill up the Thrax. Maybe I'm going to need to stack more supply bases. Yank one of these out and just put one of those here as well, please. You have a depot, maybe you should have one as well if you have a shipyard in the system. And who really cares about Intel centers anyway? I built them as an experiment, and I believe the valuation on them is still that they do not really pay off. That what you get from Intel is really not worth it. I would have got more out of my Empire if I had built 10K research productions of these Intel points. Would probably be like 10K because I have leveled up research facilities. Okay. What's your life like in this here system? There is still 2 belts here, but I do not see any others. 3 belts. That one has great rats value. That one has not very good minerals and not very good rats value, but great organics value. Is that going to be the first time we build an organics station? This one's just going to be minerals. So since that is what we need, let's go to the minerals place. You are finished. You are also finished. You go to the rats one. Across, but whatever. A little bit of extra supply consumption here I can take, I believe. And you'll go down to the Draconis. I was thinking it might be faster to just build new supply ships rather than build resupply depot. How long does a Thrax take to build? 6 turns. They have 60k supply and I make 12k with one of the resupply depots. It would take 5 turns, 5.5 to fill up one of these with the production from a resupply depot. Of course, you build a resupply depot 1 and then builds essentially a Thrax worth of. Then it essentially builds supplies at the same rate as a Thrax for free. Alright. Priscos, you are for building what? You're in the belt already. 161 minerals, not the best, but we shall build a drilling operation here. With that, you build 3 turns, okay. We have here an eagle and a Redani. Satellite drone, let's check out the movement log. Okay, there's something here. I move there. There's nothing I missed over here. I need to send something to take down these drones. Aspects here friendly. You can take care of that satellite. Drone here. Who knows if that will move. You move in there. Let's see if there's a minefield on this place. I'm also going to want to send something through this warp point real quick. And I'm going to have something in here detach. Go chase these 3 drones. It's like the last of the living fast drone groups. They are on Disarm Planet. I have a ship set to optimal range, but the drones are on Disarm Planet. I guess it's fine if I don't waste more ammo than I need to. Oh well, whatever. You are just one Seeker drone. Just one Pious. No, it's not even a Pious, it's one of the repair drones. That's why you lived. Right. Dinos, please. Wipe your orders, put you in a support group. I think we have quite enough actual repair ships here that are much more effective than these. But I would be carrying this around in order to detach it and try and fix up any scouts or drones that got left behind. Got damaged. Okay, and what do I do with those? I need some fast drone forces in order to take care of threats like this. What might not be bad is a carrier that can carry around some small fighter squadron, just 24 fighters or something, that can go and catch drones. Because if he sets his drones to run away with the same level of quantum engines as I have, then I'm not going to catch them. Sounds like a nice concept. Let's do it. I am feeling very designy today. Maybe it's because I just woke up. It's gonna be a long episode, is it? Let us design a light carrier out of all things. I haven't really paid carriers much attention. There were some experiments in the early game from my ally with making drone carriers. But it's just not worth building an entire ship around your drones usually. I normally will build it like this. I don't know. Since this is not really meant to get shot at, I won't place the crew quarters on the side so I can get shot first. Only 5 kilotons HP each anyway. We have what, 6 engines? 8. Okay. Well, Morel's not going to hide anything anymore. Scattering armor just in case they do end up having some scanners, a basic sensor, because I might detach this. Long range scanners, so you can make out targets. Tachyon sensor, so you can smell traps. I don't know. Repair base, I believe, not needed. I believe the carrier itself has an innate repair ability for fighters by now. And then a couple of fighter launchers. Okay, the carrier can launch a fighter every, what, 6 milliseconds? And so can the fighter launch base. So we launch 5 fighters a second, just one, right? I think you can't make the ability be like launches 4 fighters every 6 milliseconds. Quok intentionally changed it so that the launch speed of the carrier built in bay would be the same as the fighter launchers, so that they would launch in nice waves instead of just as a stream. So I'm launching 5. They are 25 kilotons each, the small fighters, and I do want to build small fighters because they're faster, I believe. I think to get a higher combat speed bonus. So I want my cargo space to be a multiple of 125. My cargo bay is 140 in size. 600 would be a nice number to aim for. I'm going to not hit that. Maybe two more. Let's see, 125 would be a nice number. I'm not going to get 750 with this. 840. Oh yeah, just 1,000. 8 waves. Sure. That works. It's enough cargo space for it to not complain anymore. Okay, and that is really enough fighters, since I don't necessarily want this to have a big combat force to make a difference on the battlefield, but just to chase down drones. It's an auxiliary carrier. So do chuck in all those bells and whistles. That's might you want, security stations, whatever. I could put in a gun to defend myself. Point defense. Put an away motion gun. No. Cobalt Warhead for suicide attacks, Akka Battlestar Galactica. Repulsor beam to annoy anybody that wants to get close to me. I guess 80 range is not really enough. Let's put on a shield generator and some ordnance storage and call it a day. Alright, we have the phased shield gens now. These do more HP. I don't think I'm worried about them getting hit by phased guns. Let's put in those. That's fine. It appeals to my neatness if I were to do something like this. Like this. I put those on internal slots. Can only put missiles on internal slots for some reason. Including bomblet missiles, interesting. Set strategy. Turn out fighter attack is not for carriers to launch their fighters and attack through them, but it's for fighters. It's essentially just a point blank strategy, I believe. So your strategy is to not get hurt. Do you launch fighters in not get hurt? I am uncertain. Carrier fighter S. And your name shall be. I don't really know of any Romulan carrier. I mean, the Scimitar had some. Maybe there's something in memory beta. I'm just gonna take a name from the list. Just call it the Imperial Hawk. Call it something D-elves. The Dredar sounds fine, right? Different symbol here. Okay. Oh, it's capitalized. It wasn't capitalized here. Did I capitalize it with my Derridex? Oh, I sure did. So let's capitalize that as well. Alright, what's the fighter you're gonna take? Obsolete units, please. Fighter, I've got kites and black hawks. These are large fighters, actually. Let's check. Fighters. Small fighters. It's 30 combat attack, 60 combat defense. Doesn't say anything about movement speed bonus. It says that these have 4 engines, and it says that these have 2 engines and use 3 movement points to travel 1 sector. Oh, really? 3 movement points? Like actual movement points on the map, huh? So what I'm really going to want is large fighters, so that I can send these to go to the other side of the system, take down some scouting drones, and then come back. But only the small fighters are the fastest. How fast are they? How fast are they really? I'm going to look it up. Here. Let's look. Where would they be? Vehicles, units, vehicle sizes. Goes a little bit more in the middle. Fighters, carriers. With colony ships, freighters cannot launch fighters anymore. Small fighters. Use 3 movement points to travel a sector. Really? How did he implement that? Is there some kind of engines per move 3? I guess that's not set for everything else in the game. Per move 16 for troops. Well, I guess troops aren't supposed to move on the map. As we have here, satellites. They're not meant to move either, it's at 0. Look at the ships on top. Here, dreadnoughts. Engines per move 350. That's 350 movement points generated by the engines. Okay. Go back down to fighters, please. And these have engines per move at 6. So they're the same. They're the same. Engines per move 3, engines per move 6. So yes, I can use light fighters just as well. You just didn't have the description there. Each engine here generates 19 movement points. Rounded down to 18 as a multiple of 3 or 6, I guess, and it's 3 times 4 engines plus the 1 movement from our trade. It works out. Okay, what's your combat speed bonus? Maximum of this many engines. Show here, doesn't show here. Aha, space combat maximum speed per movement point is at 150. This is at 125. Whereas if you just go to something like a cruiser, this would be at 100. Specifically, it's 1 divided by 100. Per movement point, after all, you know. Okay, so yes, small fighters are fine. The only real design we have here is the kite. Oh no, we have the Scorpion here as well with anti-proton beams. Try and upgrade you like this. Missive armor too, I don't think we care about that. The idea was that this fights Zorn fighters, I believe. And we're going to want to have afterburners on here. There's quantum engines, ECM combat sensors, the overhead. I mostly want this to be able to take down fast scout stuff, so I don't think I really need the ECM and combat sensors all that much. And I think regular armor is going to be fine compared to a missive. Missive has 12 HP, regular armor 16. Shield generators have 45. This is essentially 15 HP per size point, not even counting the structure. So it's pretty much on par with the armor. Question is, what is going to cost more minerals? This is 14. This is 5. So 3 plates of 15 minerals. Well, this is 14, so it doesn't really matter. More face gens, 30 points. I didn't realize there were small face gens, but it makes sense, I guess. Alright. No, it's fine. Let's have this be a Scorpion. Question is, what guns are we going to put in? Are we going to leave it at APBs? Put in Rippers. APBs are fine. Incinerators. How do they stack up against APBs? Incinerators have some 35 damage on average at max range, divided by 4-second reload, divided by 5 kilotons is 1.75 DPS at max range per kiloton and second, ignoring accuracy. There's the same comparison for an APB, which does 9 points, divided by 2, divided by 3 is 1.5 DPS. Accuracy is a bit better, but small fighters have a lot of accuracy anyway. So per kiloton this is better. If we only put 5 in, we should have about the same DPS as before. Not that it really matters. I take 3 supplies per shot. We're going to want to fly these around, so yes, I think I do want some supply storage on these. Let's chuck in storage. You want to get rid of the ECM. 90% defense modifier. Pretty good. But I believe we don't really need this. Come on, what do we delete? ECM. Delete the ECM. And just for symmetry, have that put there. Alright, this is our new Scorpion. I wouldn't necessarily call it anti-fighter. Design type. Fighter. Sure. Strategy optimal range break. Sure. No, we should just be listed here under fighters. Okay, you're going to be it. What's the large fighter, which basically the same, but double up. And the plasma fighters. Oh yeah, plasma fighters are a strategy that definitely works. It used to work so well, it's gotten nerfed a lot in recent balance mod. But we never built it, because we had drones from the start. Alright, Scorpion 2 is less waffling, more playing. Let's build these somewhere here near our front line. You guys are busy building colony ships to expand our empire and our economic base. That's the most important job you can have. So let's not disturb you with that. I queued boomies here everywhere. On 6 stations, that is 600 boomies. What about 2 loads for you? A little bit more than 2 loads. It's fine, you're not going to carry as far, are you? Well, I guess you're going to carry these 3 systems, right? And itself, yeah. What are you building? Facilities. Hey, here we have a victim that can take your new construction request. They are awfully quick to build, and they're going to be even awfully quicker to build with the max level yards. So you build those. And who's gonna build your fighters? How many are you going to carry again? That's 4 fighters per 100 kilotons, so it's 40 fighters. Who can build you 40 fighters real quick? I could just chuck them in here first. I haven't started the construction on these yet. How fast are you going to build them? How many can you build in a turn? Yeah, 47. 7? This was numlock. Divided by 136 is 6 fighters. 6 times 6 yards is 36, and then build 4 on a planet, sure. I should do this through using the change all queues button. I do need to delete those. I really should be doing this using the yard queue and then multi-select and add to all. But then I would need to remember which named space yards are in this place. I could just go and rename them. Call this the Pelagia Space Yards. And I could do that. But I don't think I'm going to do that often enough for it to be worth it for me to rename them. Look at me here commanding fleets of dozens and dozens of battleships and still queuing 6 fighters individually this late in the game. How adorable. Okay, and then 4 on the planet. Oh, we're gonna finish these after the components factory. I could put you before. I don't know how much progress is done in there yet. But it's going to take a couple turns for the carrier to build anyway, so it's fine. Yay! Okay. One project completed. What do we do next with our lives? You are still going to assault. I removed and re-added a drone in that fleet. So I'm going to reissue the orders. So there and there and there. Actually, you can just warp through as well. Even if he has 1,000 wines on the other side, I should have enough minesweepers in this fleet in order to take it. Take a look-see. Potion was it? 2, number 3, 4. Yep. Each of these has nearly 250 sweeping capacity. The difference between the potions 2s and 3s? I don't think so. It's fine. Before I go back, we did give orders to this to take down that satellite. We didn't really have anything that we sent to intercept these yet. Oh no, we did. We do have the punchers here. No, that was insert, which cycled something as well. You go, attack seek that, attack seek that. Go there and then there. And then we have the death of everything in the system scheduled. Alright, there was something here that I wanted to orders. I'm just going to find it again next time. The eagle here. And go. Sure, go there. The Deredex here are the ones that are newly arriving. Also, you can all stay here for the moment. Collect yourself as reinforcements. And then proceed to join up with the fleet soon in a larger group. We have here, you are the reinforcements that arrived here on the Kantara front. I abandoned the troops of one of those worlds here because I was afraid the Gomez were just going to attack and raise this place. However, they do not seem to want to do this. They might still this turn. Apparently they got hit by the upgrade everything button and are now upgrading the space. Yeah, it's okay, whatever. After you've done that, you should probably build defenses. There you go. You already built your platform, you already built your first platform. Okay, you could probably also do with another wave motion gun battery. While you finish your very important upgrade to the research center, I'm not going to disturb that. That is after all very important. Not because there's probably not even a space yard, a space dock in here, space port. Because the Kantarans have natural merchants and don't need them. I don't capture any. Okay. Take these groups apart again. Remerge them into the main fleet. Yeah, escort drones are a little slower. Not great. Take everything else and put it in the main fleet. That's enough warships. And the Thrax there. And now we have enough to go and assault the last Kantaran world in here. No planet shield, 8 guardian stations, tiny weapon platforms. If I take this fleet as it is, the boarding ships are going to fly in and die. Of course, the boarding ships are going to mark this as a hey, I am boarding this target, please do not shoot at it. And I do want it to get shot at. So, yeah, I need to separate them out again. I also need to clean up these Kantaran warships. So I should detach some of my battleships, enough of them to take that down. And if I do that, I don't think I have enough to destroy the planet easily without losses. Okay, whatever. I'm going to add all these. I am going to set the capture groups to nothing. Yeah, I'm going to set these to nothing for now. Bit annoying. Need to hit these 8 buttons and select these. Run away, do not capture enemy planet, please. Reminds me, we need to check the strategy for the carrier we just designed. Just don't get hurt, mean, do not launch fighters. And then you just go, actually make one of you the Deredex's task force leader. And then you just go with a warship, not the cloaky one. And then you just go range break. I don't think they actually break formation, but whatever. Formation can be regular. Okay. Clear things orders. Attack the Gomezes. The Gomezi. And then schedule the destruction of the relevant Kantaran assets in this system. Detach the Shrike and clean up the mining ships. And these are the choo-choos, right? They're just bouncing between his homeworld and that place. Even during war, even during destruction of the Empire, they're going to resettle more people onto that planet that is clearly doomed. Not worth changing their behavior now, I guess. And then go towards that war point. Okay, Eagle Scout. Oh, sure, stay there. Go down one just in case they come this way. With here, I have an Eagle Scout over here. There's some fighters remaining over there. Python X is one for some attack ships. Ripper beams. Ripper beams are usually too short range to really matter. I'll stay there for the time being. 147 mines. I forgot again how many mines this thing can sweep. I know that he had enough. They had enough to sweep these 184, and that was it. I think they had just above 200 mines sweeping capacity. Between 200 and 250, right? I'd probably be fine just running into this. If some of the mines explode and damage the shields of the Deredexes, whatever. But alas, I'm not going northwards. Drones! Actually, everything in here. Except the warp point I can't give orders to, and the mine group that doesn't receive any. Stay where you are. Actually, you... No, you can't upgrade yourself. You cannot upgrade yourself, but you can upgrade other people. There's already King Falcons too, though. Can't upgrade those any further. There's also the Derrix here. Derrix 14 can become a Derrix 15. Come to think of it, did we just not develop a bunch of shields? I was just going to do the next turn when I actually finish attacking shields tech. But I could upgrade the shields on these right now. How many shield points do my current shield generators give me? The level 7s. 320. And the phased ones I got are already 340. So I could replace them all with phased shield gens and still improve my HP rating. What are they cost-wise? 85, 60? 88, 63. 3 more per level. Yeah, whatever, cost the same. No internal shield gen or anything, okay. Yeah, the Derrix 16. I'm only going to do the real upgrade wave next turn. Delete that. Just so that this one can refit itself. I don't like doing upgrades to something that isn't the latest design, so that's not. It rubs me the wrong way, upgrading something to the shields that I know are obsolete. Okay, there's King Falcons here. I upgrade to the last latest design. I'm not going to upgrade them any further. They can go and, together with this drone group, join the front lines. I'm also doing that. Eagle, up here, you can stay here. I positioned you there so you could keep an eye on both warp points. That's fine. I'm still going to need to keep an eye on this place. I should sacrifice a drone to go through this place and see if there's mines there. I want to keep the punches. I guess these guys are sort of expendable, but they're the only 16 speed mines I have left here, aside from the punches, so I don't want to waste them right now. I had the repair drone here, individual one, they're relatively expensive though. I have something here that I can order there. I have a spare eagle. Let's order this eagle to go take that one spot, and this eagle can go. Let's see if it dies if it tries to enter the system. Oh, there. And there, yeah, very Heidi. How will you go into that very Heidi asteroid belt? Level 10. Oh, blocks you better than your cloaking device. Alright. Yeah, you stay there. And that's it for ships. Alright, yacht queues. What do you say? Yacht queue say ship, Romulus. There's an open queue. Ship, space dock at Ikiak is open. And the planet Tangibai. Let's go find something to do with our homeworld with its wow, 1,720 minerals construction rate. You could still improve this by putting a component factory on here, but this is a lot. I think we are short enough on minerals now that it's time to raise the research and refining stations on here and finally change the makeup of our homeworld to be a full mining colony. As we have talked about so many times before. There you go, slap on 10 extra mines. And that'll be good. Alright. Then you are busy. The planet in Tenchibrai was busy. Was not busy. Which is why we need to give it orders. You already have one of your component factories. Yes, I'm pretty sure. Then go build something. Right, we decided what to build here, and then we designed this ship, so let's build it. Good, now next. There was a yard in Ikyak. That was free. That was the one that was going to refit itself, so that's fine. Okay, then everything has orders. Looking at our eco, we are still fine. We're pretty much neutral on minerals. We're going to spend some minerals this turn, doing a couple refits. Nothing major. Alright, then that's it for this turn. I'm going to save. String theory save. And the turn. And process.